conversation today, and also a part that we will get to hear the words from the person who we're speaking about, whose name is Jorge Cornell, also known as King J. He's a friend of mine. We met when I was in college in Greensboro, North Carolina. So it's an honor to get to share his story. He is currently in a 28-year sentence, so he was not yet killed by police or law enforcement. He's about 8 years into his sentence. And he, like us, was organizing against police brutality, but from a different vantage point, as a poor brown kid from the Bronx, and through a street organization, which we'll talk about in a minute. But the first thing I'm going to ask you all is, this is a picture, King J, Jorge Cornell. And I know, sorry, I don't have a bigger screen, but just like being honest, what are our first associations, assumptions? When we see this picture, like what data do we get? Just call it out. Just call out whatever you.
Gang member.
Gang member. Great. What else?
Rapper.
Rapper. Cool. What else? What assumptions, associations? I don't know if everybody.
Be honest.
Latin. Yeah, Latin king or the Latin. Sorry.
Doug.
Doug.
Troublemaker.
Troublemaker.
Drug dealer.
Drug dealer.
Scumbag.
Scumbag. Well, no, thank you all for just saying something.
Be honest.
Yeah. He looks a little like my brother, so I'm in trouble with that. Right? Okay. Well, yeah. Well, that's the thing that people, for some people that's the case. What else?
Looks like the kind of fellow my daughter in former years would bring home, and then graduated now to granddaughters.
Okay.
And I can look forward to my great-granddaughter bringing him home.
Got it. Okay. All right. So the association. It sounds like that maybe wasn't always welcome in some sense.
No.
Okay, got it. Anybody else? Maybe everybody just say some word out loud. Just so everyone said something. So I'll say it at the same time, right? So on the count of three, just say some word out loud that you associate. There's not a right answer, there's not a wrong answer, just being honest. So like
Gangsta.
1, 2, 3.
Gangsta.
Right?
Son.
Okay, great. So we're gonna hear about a 5-minute video from Jorge Cornell. It is really interesting, so don't worry. The real question here is hopefully we can all hear. So we're gonna do a little, I have brought the speaker.
There is no speak that I like to go to.
Sorry.
Yeah.
November 6, 2009, a community organization in Greensboro, North Carolina made this
My name is
video.
Jorge Cornell. I'm also known as
How's it sound?
DJ, the leader and the leader of the All My Life People Nation of the state of North Carolina. It's a nation that was built to protect Latinos, stop the injustice that's been falling upon our community, the racism, the discrimination, the police brutality. I used to get a vacation time. We used to come down here, the wife and the kids. At the time, my mother-in-law was out here, and we kept visiting. We felt this would be a place that we want to raise our kids just to get away from the city life of New York.
You were here for a while, and then you started feeling like maybe there were some things here that were not safe, particularly having to do with the police department.
Right, yeah, beginning of 2004, early 2005, I seen a car accident that occurred in front of the Spanish restaurant. 4 individuals were Hispanic, got out the car and ran. And the police came, and there were several witnesses that told the police that those individuals took separate routes and ran. And the police officer still went into the Spanish restaurant and pulled 4 individuals that had nothing to do with the situation. 2 of the individuals didn't even know each other, had their cars parked in the parking lot of the restaurant, and the police still took them in. And that's when I said enough was enough, and I spoke to the proper, higher ups that I needed to get the authorization to start the All My Latin King Queen Nation here in North Carolina.
You have since entered into an initiative. I believe there was a press conference in which you were calling for peace among the different groups representing different interests.
We had a total of 6 different groups. We had Crips, Bloods, and we sat down in the basement of Genesis Baptist Church, and we hammered out a beautiful peace treaty that not only was going to bring us groups together and stop war, but to turn this into a political movement. And it was being successful. And as we were being successful with it, other groups from different parts of the state of North Carolina were coming to us and saying that this is for real, that they wanted to be a part of it. I mean, before that conference, you know, we've had our spats with the police department where we were confronted, telling us that we can't, you know, walk in the streets, or we can't be at this restaurant, or we can't go to this movie theater, or we couldn't walk in this mall, or why was we looking at jewelry. I mean, we dealt with those kind of harassments. The Almighty Latin King Queen Nation, no matter where we were, no matter what we did or where we went, we were under constant harassment. And then it picked up more after the peace treaty. So then that's when we started getting hit, you know, and they started hitting us. Since then, we've been hit 86 times.